Welcome to the Schools of Excellence podcast, where we transform everyday leadership struggles into powerful legacies that impact generations. I'm your host, Chanie, a 20-year veteran of school leadership who has helped hundreds of school leaders achieve what many thought was impossible through our signature programs, School Leadership HQ and Enrollment Engine. With our battle-tested frameworks and blueprints, leaders have achieved 90% parent retention, 50% less staff turnover, 15% improved profit margins, and increased enrollment by 25%. My mission is simple: to revolutionize school leadership by elevating the skills, the habits, and mindset of passionate leaders ready to create lasting change. Join me as we build your legacy of excellence, one transformative conversation at a time. Welcome back to the Schools of Excellence podcast. I hope you are doing well, and I wanted to talk about drift because we are in the final weeks of December, which means the new year is around the corner, and there's a lot of decisions that you guys are making right now. And this is typically when a lot of leaders wake up and say, wait, how did we end up here? How did we get to this place where we're wrapping up 2025 and I'm not necessarily feeling all the things or all the feels that I wanted to feel? And the thing about drift, and I'm going to explain what it means, is drift is not burnout. Drift is not laziness. Okay. Drift is one of the quietest disruptive forces in leadership, and it is the most human. And I'm going to talk about two kinds of drift today: the calm drift and the chaotic drift, and how you can anchor yourself before you get too far swept away. So first, let's understand what drift is, okay? Drift is not burnout. Burnout is depletion, okay? Drift is not laziness. Laziness is apathy, okay? Drift is different. Drift is the gradual, often unnoticed loss of connection, loss of alignment, and you have lost connection to your anchors that keep you grounded and clear. Drift doesn't mean that you've lost everything that you built. It just means you're alive, because every leader drifts, even the best ones. Because leadership is human work, and being human means that sometimes you will lose alignment with the rhythms that hold you steady. So the skill in leadership is not to avoid drift. It's not to build systems or processes or checklists or software to ensure that you don't drift, because you will drift. It doesn't matter how many systems, processes, checklists, or SOPs that you built. You will still drift. The leadership skill is, how do I return? Not how do I prevent myself from drifting? How do I return? That is why I obsess and talk over rhythms, because rhythms are the only thing that allow you to return. Systems demand perfection. Rhythms invite humanity. When you miss a rhythm, you could pick it up tomorrow, pick it up the next day. Rhythms do not punish you for falling out of sync. They forgive you by giving you a way back home to yourself. That is the quiet brilliance of leading by rhythm, because even when you drift, the structure of your life knows how to guide you back home. I'm going to say that again. Even when you drift, because you will drift, because the best leaders drift, it doesn't matter. The structure that you've designed in your life with rhythm will teach you and bring you back home. So what are the two kinds of drift? Okay, how do they show up? So let's talk about the calm drift. The calm drift is the most insidious one. It's so sneaky because it shows up when you're feeling amazing. Enrollment is strong, your team is stable, your systems are running smoothly. So you start to ease up, but you're not being careless. You're easing up because you're comfortable. You're feeling a sense of safety and you're like, ooh, this is good. We'll stop, paying for this mentor. We'll come out of this coaching program, or we don't really need to do this, or I'm not really going to that conference this year. Or you know what? It's okay this one time if she doesn't do X, Y, and Z. We're fine. You stop checking the small things and you let the rhythm slide and you say, I'll get back to that later. It's like being in the floaty in a pool. And you think that you're still in the water, but you're not, because water is always moving. So you're actually drifting. And then before you realize, you're all of a sudden in the middle of the ocean and sharks are surrounding you and there's 4 storms. Calm lures you into a false sense of peace that you can coast. But calm without anchors leads to drift. And I see this all the time. I connect with leaders. Everything's good right now. I don't really need to connect with you. Everything's amazing. I don't have anything to bring up. I don't have any problems today. I don't need to talk to you. You don't connect and anchor yourself with mentorship or leadership only when you have 5-degree fire alarms. So, what happens is if your mindset is that now you're in calm, so now I can let go of everything, then you disengage, not because something went wrong, but because calm lured you into comfort, and comfort creates complacency. Because calm isn't the time to let go of your anchors. First, you have to know what your anchors are, which are your non negotiables. Calm is when you reinforce those anchors. It's when you double down on what's working so it stays strong because the next storm is coming. You know that. And it's not about me being, oh my God, don't be such a negative Nelly. We're doing so amazing. And that's not what this is. Thinking that I'm being a negative Nelly by telling you the next storm is coming means you would rather be an ostrich and put your head in the sand and say, I'm good now, leave me alone. No problem. Everyone's allowed to make their own choices. Understand that leadership work in seasons and cycles, which means right now you're in a season of calm. Fantastic. What are you going to do in the season of calm? Because the storm is coming. The next season is coming. Winter doesn't just not show up. Okay. I live in Florida. It's winter right now. So, yeah, I know a lot of people think, well, it's always sunny in Florida. It is. It is. And it does rain, but it is sunny. But there is a winter season, right? In the winter season, we get to walk outside and not choke to death from the humidity. It's like 60 degrees in the morning and you get to wear a sweater, which is really nice. You get to wear booties some days and leggings because it's like a little bit chillier than like 90 degrees, but it's still a season, right? So in the summer, I know the winter season is coming, especially if you don't live in sunny places. Winter is here. It's December. It gets dark earlier. It is cold outside. That doesn't mean it's gloomy forever. Summer's coming. Summer's my favorite season of the year. I love summer. I also know summer doesn't last forever. If you are in a season of calm, amazing. But please do not lure yourself into a full sense of comfort that you can coast. You can't. Hey, school owners, I see you. You've built a team. You've trusted others with the work. And somehow it still feels like everything lands on your shoulders. And that weight is exhausting. What if you could stop carrying it all alone? What if you can finally see exactly where your leadership is getting stuck and what to do next? That's where the strategic leadership scorecard was made for. In just 2 minutes, it will give you a clear diagnosis in one of the core areas of leading a school: enrollment, financial health, staff culture, or parent engagement. You'll get practical steps and trusted resources to help you lighten your load and unlock real ownership in your team to be able to lead with confidence. You deserve this level of steadiness. So take the scorecard now so you can lead with clarity and know that your school runs on shared ownership, real standards, and rhythms of accountability. You have to keep your anchors. You need to keep doing your rhythms. And the reason why leaders let go of anchors and rhythms during season of calm is because their anchors and rhythm are too exhausting. They're not real anchors. They're systems that they have chained themselves to, and they feel this yoke and this pressure that they're crushing and suffocating under. Yeah, I also wouldn't keep those if calm came. I'd be like, sayonara, anchors. No, you need to know what are the 6 anchors that keep leadership steady through all seasons of leadership. This is what I talk about in my book, This Can't Be Normal. What to do when success starts to feel like survival. That's what the book is about. Could click the link in the show notes. Can learn more about it. That's the calm drift. Let's talk about the chaos drift, okay? The chaos drift starts small, okay? You skip taking your vitamins. You cancel the walkthrough with the team. You don't do date night with your spouse because you guys are doing amazing. And before you know it, you are short-tempered, you are foggy, you are completely disconnected, you feel like you and your spouse are roommates, and the version of you that leads with clarity is like out the window. This for me showed up the most in seasons of grief. When my husband was grieving his dad, I started to overfunction in the household. So I absorbed all of the invisible weight inside of the household. I carried every single need and quietly collapsed. And over time, I drifted so far away from myself, from my health, from my joy, from my rhythms that I didn't recognize myself anymore. And I had to find my way back home. Chaos drift eats away at you until you lose sight of who you are. And here is the crazy part about the chaos drift, because I've been through both. It is not instant. It's a slow suffocation of one more thing. It's a slow erosion of yourself. You wake up one morning and you realize that the tide has pulled you so far out. You're like, how am I ever swimming my way back home? So, how do you come back from drift, whether calm or in chaos? You return to your rhythms and your anchors. Anchors are the practices and commitments that pull you back into alignment. They re-anchor you. They're small, repeatable actions that remind you who you are, not who you're trying to prove yourself to be. Okay. And so in that season of grief, that meant going back to simple things: morning walks, journaling, eating enough protein, boundaries around my workday. You will never regret taking a walk. You will never regret having boundaries in your workday. You will never regret the small returns. Anchors are what keep you from drifting in calm, and they pull you back when you've drifted in chaos. So much of leadership advice, and this is what I talk about inside of the book, is you've probably heard the messages of like, but I don't follow through, or you just lack discipline, or you need a better system, or you're just not wired for this kind of consistency. Lies. All leaders drift, even the most disciplined. The difference between those who actually return to their momentum and those who spiral out of control is not willpower, and it is not discipline, and it is not how you were raised. It's rhythm. When you drift, the question that most people say is, how do I start over? How do I do a new year, new me? How do I make a fresh plan for January? No, 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 no. The question is, how do I return? Excellence is not about never drifting. Excellence is about returning again and again and again, because I chose the word return intentionally. I didn't say push through. I didn't say put your head down and keep going. I said return, because excellence isn't about muscling forward. It's about remembering who you already are underneath the noise, the grief, the overwhelm, the confusion, the fear, the self-doubt, and the exhaustion. You don't need a new year, new me. You don't need a new plan. You need to return to your steady anchors and your consistent rhythms. And consistency is not perfection. Please lean in and listen to me here. Please, if you're distracted right now, pause the episode, finish the distraction, and then come back here. I need you to hear this. Please make me louder in your earbuds. Consistency is not about perfection. Consistency is about return. You are not supposed to get it right every single day. You are not supposed to be flawlessly perfection, every single thing buttoned up, sliced up, chop, chop, chop. Hi, remember that you're human. Remember that you're not a machine. Remember that you actually have a heartbeat and a beautiful soul. Remember that you have a heart with warmth and love and kindness and generosity and softness that belong in this world that we need. That doesn't come from, it doesn't come from that. It comes from returning to yourself. And so consistency is not never make a mistake, never get it wrong, never miss this. It's, oh, we missed it that one time. Okay. How do we return to the standard? How do we go back to what we know is correct? How do we return? I know you're overwhelmed. I was also overwhelmed. I'm not proud of how I showed up. Let's return to what we know is the right thing to do. We don't need to create a new plan. You don't need to create a 5-step process. You don't need to hire an HR consultant. You don't need to bring in someone to do diversity, equity, and inclusion training. You don't need to do anything. Oh my God, stop. You need to return. Return to what you know. My obsession in schools of excellence and who we work with our clients and how we support our clients. It's not go do this or go do more of this. It's these are the rhythms. Execute on them. Not consistent, not perfectly, not never make a mistake, consistently. And consistency means return, which means you did 3 months of one-on-ones and this month you forgot. Okay. This month you didn't do it. Let's unpack why and let's return to it. We don't need to make a new system. We don't need to make a new process. You don't need to have a new software. You don't need anything. And so if there's any takeaway from today's conversation, please don't buy any new software. Please do not create another system. Please don't make another checklist. You need to return to your rhythms. And most of the rhythms that we teach inside schools of excellence, you're already doing them. You're just not doing them in rhythm with the consistency that is needed. Not perfection, but the consistency that's needed, with the predictability that's needed, that it could restore you and provide relief and peace and calm. And so if you want those rhythms, I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'd love to chat with you about if working with schools of excellence would be a good fit for you. Both drifts, calm and chaos, are about being human. So will you notice that you're in drift right now? Are you in calm? Are you in chaos? I'd love to hear. If you want to shoot us an email. Do you have the anchors to return to? Don't wait until you've drifted too far back. Call yourself back now. Pause, breathe, return to a rhythm that holds you. You don't need to rebuild your entire business. You need one small return to remind your system where home is, where you are. So if this conversation resonated with you and you've been drifting lately, I really, really want to invite you to apply for Schools of Excellence or for our leadership consult. We walk you through how to install anchors and rhythms that keep you steady no matter the season of life that you're in. And if you're craving a deeper dive, you can also check out my upcoming book, This Can't Be Normal: What to Do When Success Starts to Feel Like Survival. Leadership, it's rhythm. It's a rhythm-based leadership. And a rhythm will always, always help you find your way back home. Thanks so much for joining me. If you are loving the Schools of Excellence podcast and have gotten any value out of it for your school, I would love if you can do two things for me. One, subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. And two, can you please leave us a review? Reviews help other school leaders know that this is the place to learn how to build a school of excellence. And I would be so grateful if you can do that for us. Your help and support makes this show to be able to be listened by the thousands of other school leaders all around the world. Thanks so much for listening, for giving us your time and attention each and every week. And I appreciate that you have joined us.